been there before. Many of us have worked for someone in an environment where we literally would take a pay cut to not have to work for this person anymore. I don't want to come in and have to deal with this every single day. You get to the workplace and you sit in the parking lot and go, I just don't feel like this. I can't do this anymore. But you have obligations and you have commitments and you got to go on in and figure out how to handle it. Well, if we are as respectful as we can be, people will bring their A game to work. But when we aren't, people will only do what's required when you're around to avoid being seen as slacking off. And the data we have from this organization and others validates that. That people have self-stated they do not give 100% of their best efforts on a regular basis. Let me qualify that. We didn't ask do you give 100% of your best effort 100% of the time. That's not fair to expect of anybody. We just asked, do you give 100% of your best efforts on a regular basis? A significant portion of the population, which you're going to be getting your data, says, no, I don't. And when you ask people what would incentivize them to give more of their best efforts, one of the top answers in almost every facet of the organization is having a boss that treats me with dignity and respect. And that's free. That doesn't cost us anything. Some of you have been there. That you've worked for a boss who literally anything you had to say, it was obvious they could care less. Well, after a while, you know what? I'm just going to come in, do my job, and go home. I see there's issues, I see there's things we can do better. They don't care. Every time I try to have a conversation, he or she won't listen. Our goal is to get you to be the bosses who will listen, those who will care, those who will ask some of those questions like you saw on that document to get to learn a little bit about your people, those who are willing to recognize that I too have blind spots. I have stuff in my 7-Eleven rule that causes me to potentially treat people in a way that's connected to something I experienced with someone they remind me of, but not necessarily who they are. We all have labels. Every single one of us. Every one of you in this room has one. What I encourage you to do is to recognize we all have some of these blind spots. They all start to manifest, and everybody deserves a reset. Everybody deserves an opportunity to now define, just like you got name tags when you came in. Quick illustration. I had an individual that was taking over as a leader in an organization, had about 15 direct reports. His comment to them was just this, that I realize that every one of you knows you have a label. You may not know what your label says, but as far as I'm concerned, he passed out blank ones. He said, as of today, you get a reset. There's nothing on that label at the moment as far as I'm concerned other than what I see over the next 30 days. One by one, I'm going to call you back in. Bring that label back with you. I'm going to write on that label what I've seen in the last 30 days. So you get a chance to define who you are by what I see, not what I've been told or what you have done. One of the guys on his team, his reaction was, this was the chance I've been waiting for. He said, I'm 30, but I've been here since I was 22. And the guy that I was at 22 is not the guy that I am at 30. The guy that I am at 22 hit happy hour at every place in town. I knew all the places in town that served food along with the dollar beers because I didn't feel like cooking and didn't know how. So they had something to eat. I got $5 worth of beer and the free food, and then continued my drinking until I got up and came to breath in the morning. My breath kind of smelled like the beer from last night. Some of us, not anybody in this room, but know people who have that experience early in their career. I'm not that guy anymore. I'm married, I have a family, but I can't shake that label. All of us have one. Every one of you in this room does, but everyone who reports to you deserves an opportunity to have you now see them in the lens that they are, not that they were. And some of us hopefully will leave here today willing to do that.